Hello to whoever may be listening to this. My name is Dave, and I am going to be doing my first ever movie review. I have been watching movies for a long time, and I've been writing little reviews, but I have never actually posted actual reviews, so I'm going to be changing that. And today, I went out and saw Morbius. Today is March 31st. I went to a 4:30 IMAX screening of it. Before I get into what I thought of it, was I looking forward to this movie? Mm, uh, in a way, yes. I was just curious to see what would happen with this project and how it would tie into the whole Sonyverse. Most of all, I was curious to see if there would be a Spider-Man in this because I'm very curious to see what Sony's going to do with Spider-Man, and I'm always down to see what new Marvel superheroes get new movies. I did have my doubts because this movie was cursed. It was delayed for. This movie was supposed to come out in January of 2020. Then it was moved. Then, thanks to the pandemic, it was moved. Finally, it was moved one last time, and now it's out. Is it good? No. it's. This movie's pretty bad. I might even use the word terrible. This movie's really not good. It started off, and I was like, I'm actually kind of into this. I'm enjoying this. This isn't bad. Am I gonna be the one lone dude who's gonna be coming out and all like, oh yeah, I enjoyed this while everyone else hated it because I have been that guy for some other comic book movies. Like I really enjoyed New Mutants, so I was like, am I gonna be that guy for Morbius? And then the movie kept going. I was thinking, okay, is this gonna keep getting? It's gonna keep getting bad, isn't Yep, it's getting bad, and it's gonna get worse. It reminded me of Fant Four Stick in the way how the first third. First half is not terrible. There are some glimpses of some stuff in there that are cool. And then the second half is just total garbage. That's how Morbius is. The first third, first half, there are some things where you can see what they're trying to do and you can see the ideas of where they wanted to go and where they were trying to go. Then it all falls apart. Jared Leto, I think him as Morbius, he has to look for it. However, he is given an absolutely terrible script. The dialogue is awful. There is no space to breathe. It's just scene. It's nothing but exposition. There's nothing in between. And then the bad guy, played by Matt Smith. I had no idea Matt Smith was in this movie, man. This movie was full of people who I had no idea were in it. Jared Harris is in this movie. Tyrese Gibson is in this movie. Matt Smith is the bad guy. And he gives a true cringe performance. Oh my gosh, the dancing, his delivery, his lines, just his drama, it's so bad. There are moments where you can see, okay, this isn't as good as it was and it's getting a little worse. The moment where I was like, it's over, this is just going to keep getting worse, is one of the first scenes where he's a villain on screen and he starts dancing. I'm like, that is just so cringy, so uncomfortable, and so painfully unfunny. There's nothing this movie can do to redeem itself. And there is nothing it can do to redeem itself. This movie, the directing and the camera work, it's so choppy and so thrown together and so just not coherent. And I saw this on an IMAX screen. The screen was huge. I had no idea what was going on sometimes because the camera was just being thrown around and characters were moving. And there are a few shots in here that are kind of cool. And if they were more longer and coherent and focused like those shots, I would have been sitting here like, oh, the directing was really cool. But it's not because this movie feels like it was shot to be rated R and then they were told it had to be PG-13. Because there are some things that happen where it either cuts really quick or a character gets his throat cut and he acts like he's gargling on his blood or whatever and he's covering the wound and there's no blood. It's really confusing. And like I said, the script to this movie, it's really bad. The script is awful. There is nothing redeeming about this script. It's like Fant Four Stick in the way how you can see the ideas, and if someone were to take the basic outline, completely throw out the rest of the movie, and just take the outline and rewrite a script, I think this movie could have been good, or at the very least decent. Because this movie is not good, and at the very least, it is not decent. And the makeup and the visual effects in this movie are pretty bad. Like when he turns into Morbius, when his face goes from Jared Leto to Morbius, it looks fine, but when Matt Smith starts turning, it looks like garbage. It's really bad. It is so bad. I know this movie only had a budget of 75 million, so maybe there were budgetary restraints, but it just looked awful on Matt Smith. I will say there's a little bit more action in this movie than Fant Four Stick, so I'll give it credit for that. But the thing is, it's like Fant Four Stick in the way how it's all just exposition. There's like one or two action scenes. There are a bunch of scenes where it's kind of like, what was the point of that? Why was that necessary to have in this film? And then the end fight is really short. I'm talking 5 minutes short. I'm not exaggerating. It's pretty short. So it's basically just like a whole lot of nothing, then more nothing, then it ends. And the last thing I'll talk about, no spoilers, but the credit scenes are, there's two credit scenes and they're pretty much back to back. They're really stupid. They make no sense. I read a headline that said that they reeked of desperation, and that's pretty much what it is. It's just them trying to do stuff that will get the money, and I honestly have no idea how they would continue. Just I have no faith that they will, and I doubt they will, and if they do, I will be utterly shocked if they go down this path with what they set up in the credits. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about Morbius. Rating 1 to 10, objectively this is a 2 out of 10. Like if we're talking technically from a technical standpoint and everything, 2 out of 10, but subjectively I give it a 3, just on my personal thing. If we're judging it as a movie, 2 out of 10. My personal enjoyment, 3 out of 10, because I didn't mind the first third, and there were some shots I enjoyed. But overall, Morbius is not a good movie, and I would not recommend it. And this movie's going to bomb, and it's going to go absolutely nowhere, and there's going to be no more movies. So, yeah, that's Morbius. After 2.5 years of being delayed, it came out and it's here, and hopefully it's going to be gone soon. So, that was my review of Morbius. If you like this review and would like to hear more and would like to subscribe, please do, and I will see you next time. Later.